Jumping into the bottom of the fourth, tied at 1-1, Easton Miller lofts a fly ball to deep right. That'll be deep enough to break the stalemate here. CJ McCartney tags and scores to give South the lead. PHS comes right back in the top of the fifth. Parker Woods smokes one over the head of the shortstop to score Gavin Fling. And man, Woods swinging a hot bat right now. Guess what though? Bottom five, Patriots with the counterpunch again. This time it is Peyton West with the liner into left. Jackson McVeigh breaks the tie there. Easton Walker here going to get the K to end the sixth. South leads 3-2 going into the seventh. Can they hold it? Foreboding start to the final frame. A walk and a hit by Pitch there makes it first and second, one out. And then Chaz Elam breaks the ice. Base hit to left center to tie the game again. Biggest swing of the game right here. Connor Elkins with the bases loaded. He delivers, putting one off the fence to score 3 runs and break this thing open. Elam in there with a headfirst slide. Coming in hot, beating the tag, 6-3 Big Reds. All of a sudden, and PHS not done yet. Tyler Cameron down the line. That'll score another. Noah Holland closes it out, and Parkersburg comes from behind to get the rivalry win, 8-3.